How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are doing good. I recorded and tried to post a reel to Instagram, but for some reason they took away my ability to post reels. Instagram's been weird for me all day. Not entirely sure why. So I just decided, well, I was already going to do a reading, and now we're here, we're going to do the reading. I guess I can just go over the energies, but it's probably going to come out in the reading anyways. Happy equinox, by the way. We are officially starting fall. Summer is gone. It is the autumnal equinox. We are going to be doing a collective love reading with the usual Sorcerer's Tarot today. I do only have one deck with me though. So yeah, I hope you guys have been good. I'm happy to be back sooner than later, and we're just going to take a deep breath, say a prayer, and get started. Pray to God, Spirit, my guides, my angels, and my ancestors, help myself and the collective see the highest messages, know the clearest messages for the highest good of all involved in our love and relationships for a timeless love reading. So, I am going to try to upload this today, but I'm not going to be able to do it on Wi-Fi, so it might take a while. I don't know how long it'll take, probably hours. So yeah, hopefully it gets up, because I do have to go to work after this, but my hope is that everything will be up before I have to start my shift. However, I just wanted to say thank you for all the well wishes on the last video, all the congratulatory well wishes for the job and the stuff and the things. Things are going well. Set some boundaries with my employer, and now I feel like I have a little more free time, which is nice. So we got a stack of cards, and by the way, if you do want to book a personal reading or see any of my services, it's in the description. I do like reels on Instagram and jstarotservice and all that stuff, but we did get a whole stack. We haven't done a story time in a while. So let's go ahead and tap into this. First card out is we have the Devil. Okay, this can mean so many different things, really. I mean, it's gonna really depend on what we have around it. I mean, we have a lot of different cards. Just based off of what I'm feeling from this card now, I feel like there is kind of an obsessiveness around this connection. Whoever it is you're connecting with, I feel like you're both in this space of really being attracted to one another. There has been a sense of maybe working through some karmic things together, keeping in mind that like just because a connection is like a divine connection or a twin flame or a soulmate doesn't mean that you won't work through karmic issues with this person. I feel like you can have karmic relationships, but you can also work through karmic cycles with a divine partner, right? And this is kind of what this card feels like to me. That's why I say this, because we have the Seven of Swords under that, right? And so to me, that just speaks of a lot of fears. I mean, there's an obsessiveness, there's a sense of holding back in the connection, there's a lot of fear surrounding this connection. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the past experiences you may have had, karmic experiences from your past, anything that may have essentially just shaped the way you view relationships as a whole. And I feel like this is the energy that's being worked through mutually. I feel like this goes both ways right now. You're both in this space of, there may be a little bit of resistance, and I feel like it has more to do with just being afraid of being hurt again than anything. I don't feel like there's any shady energy going on in either direction. I don't feel like the Seven of Swords is really a terrible card in this particular context. We're going to get some clarification though, because yeah, it's basically what we were saying, dude. We have the world. We have the world, we have the Seven of Swords, and we have the Devil, right? And so that to me is really just speaking of the fact that like there are some major cycles closing out. I feel like you and this person have closed out some serious blockages within this connection because you've been working on yourselves. I feel like you both have taken the time to go within. You may have had a little bit of a separation, and you may have already come back together and had a moment of clarity between you both. I feel like there was something that was shown. I feel like one person was shown something and there was a little break, and now the other person is being shown something from the other person, and vice versa. And it's this cycle that I feel like you guys are going through, and it doesn't feel like it's a toxic cycle or really karmic for that matter. It feels like something that is occurring to help you let go of that cycle, and it's working through that cycle together to come out the other side together. It's not something where you're going to come together, go through all this terrible stuff, and then just separate forever. I mean, yes, those kinds of connections do happen, but this really doesn't feel like that here, right? Let's pull out the next card. We have the Magician. And so like I said, I mean, this is something that is coming together. Excuse me, my mic. I'm going to fix it. It's going to be loud, sorry. My mic has been falling pretty much the whole time I've been trying to do readings today. Here we go. So the Magician, I feel like there's a lot coming together. I don't want to say it's not seen because we don't really have the high priestess that I saw. So I feel like this is something that is known. Again, this is mutual, but in order for this to come together, you're going to have to work through these issues. I feel like, yes, the world is a divinely guided connection to me. That is something that is kind of, there's a divine like cycle going on right now, but it's a process of this manifestation coming together. It's one of those things where it's like you get a manifestation and then you have to maintain that manifestation. This is the energy that's coming out and that's been coming out. And so now I feel like we're in this space where we are now currently maintaining those new manifestations, right? We brought in a bunch of stuff with the 8-8 portal where we're coming towards we had the 9-9 portal, we're coming towards the 10-10 portal. And we're in this space now where we're actually pretty much about to leave a Virgo season. We are now in the equinox. Things are shifting, and I feel like that's what the world is talking about. Things are changing. A lot of this old, fear, outdated thinking, it's being let go of. I feel like that's being cleared out, and it's happening because you're both choosing to move forward in this connection, regardless of how that looks. You know what I mean? It's something that's going to look different for everybody. I can speak on my experiences. I can speak on what I'm reading in the cards, but regardless, it's going to be different for everybody in each individual situation. I mean, so literally just reiterating the message there, but I feel like that's what we're seeing here is like that decision has been made. It's kind of going back and forth within your head with the Two of Pentacles, by the way. Two of Pentacles, going back and forth, deciding whether or not this is something you want to do. I feel like, again, we could be tapping into another situation here where there has been a decision to move forward in this, but there's still some apprehensiveness. That's kind of what we've been seeing. I've actually just been brought my attention to the bottom of the deck. We have the Three of Cups. Okay, so this is like a celebratory energy here. This is a reconciliatory energy. This could be somebody that you have dealt with over the past few months, somebody that you have known for a while. Maybe you just have now realized this is something that you do want to bring together. It could be something where maybe both people haven't necessarily spoken about it, right? I feel like that's kind of why there may be this kind of deception kind of energy you're feeling right now, wherever it is. The Seven, oh God, excuse me. With the, where is it? With the Seven of Swords, I feel like if you may be feeling like there's a deceptive type of energy, I just feel like it's because there's apprehensiveness. I feel like there's the desire to do things properly, to take things slow, to get to know each other, to actually do things, I don't want to say by the book, but it's almost kind of like you've already worked from a different type of book in the past and that didn't work for you, and I feel like that goes both ways. And you're now seeing how both people are a reflection of moving forward in a new way. However, there may be a sense of feeling like there's a deception because it doesn't look the way you thought it would. Oh my God, we have a super loud card coming up. They're setting off alarms. I don't know how, they must be really low down there because it's like, I feel like it's always a message when we have stuff like that. It's kind of why I like coming to this spot. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like everything may not be as it seems, right? You may be having apprehensiveness. You may be in the space of going back and forth within your own mind, trying to decide if this is something you want to do, because that's a part of the process, right? It's something where you take a time getting to know the person, yes, with the intention of moving into a romantic connection, but also realizing that like that process is what is used to determine whether or not you are compatible. That process is what you take the time with to ensure this is something that's going to be safe and healthy for both of you. And I feel like this Two of Pentacles has to do with compromise. It's understanding that like you both may want similar things, but you're still different people. And there's a reconciling with that within yourselves, and kind of trying to merging of the minds in this connection is kind of what I'm seeing here. There's this merge going on. I feel like you're merging with this person's energy. You're getting to know them on a deeper level. I feel like when you do connect with them, it is very deep. You may talk about a lot of stuff from your past, right? With the Devil and the Seven of Swords, you may have already spoken about things that have happened, even if it was just in passing, maybe just like a mention here or there. I feel like it is known by both people that you both have been through this, and I feel like that's why there's this kind of balancing act going on. And it doesn't necessarily feel like you're not choosing each other. I also feel like there's a lot going on in your respective lives. You may both be very busy people, as we get older. And I feel like that's just where this balancing is coming out. It's like, it's learning to not only make space for the connection, but to make sure you're still making space for yourself in the other areas of your life, right? because it's what brings balance into a connection. Like that's kind of where I feel like we're at right now with the Six of Pentacles. It's bringing balance into this connection. I mean, I actually find this card quite interesting, right? Because it has to do with like kissing the frog and the whole frog prince story, if you want to go into that. And I feel like this is just a confirmation that like you found somebody that you do see as somebody that's balanced for you. You see them as your counterpart, if you want to go that way. It feels like something that is very healthy and very balanced. Yes, you have issues. Every relationship is going to have issues. As I said in my last reading, every relationship regardless is going to have the potential for conflict no matter what. Like it doesn't matter if you're friends, family members, coworkers, lovers, like there's always the potential, because human beings are complex creatures with complex emotions, and trying to merge those things together can lead to conflict. But I feel like you're working through that with this person. You're bringing balance into this connection because you're bringing balance into yourselves, right? Like you've been stuck in your head for a while with the Nine of Swords, and I feel like that energy is still here a little bit because it's still fresh and it's still new in this connection. This isn't something that's fully fledged. It's not something where I feel like you're in a full-on commitment. I feel it's more so you're just in the process of getting to know this person. You're in the process of trying to figure out like, hey, like, is this something that's really going to work for me? Is it something that is going to truly make me happy? But also realizing that like I am in charge of my own happiness, that I shouldn't have to rely on another person to make me happy, but understanding that it is okay to rely on somebody for some sort of emotional fulfillment. I feel like that's the whole reason we go into these connections and relationships. It's to find the balance of interdependence in a connection. And I feel like more than anything, it's like needing to overcome this. This is overthinking. I feel like you're overthinking this so much to the point where like it's causing a lot of resistance, and I feel like this is going both ways. There's so much resistance, and I feel like that's why the Seven of Swords came out, because it seems like things aren't going that direction, but all of the other cards are pointing in the opposite. I mean, I'm being drawn back to this, right? We had the Three of Wands and Three of Cups, and under that we have the Six of Wands. And so I feel like any of this deceptive energy has more to do with the people around you than anything. Oftentimes when we come into contact with divine beings, which we are all divine beings in our own right, but when we come into union with our divine partners, we tend to trigger people around us. I have spoken on this before. When you focus on yourself and you grow and you heal, naturally you impact the people around you due to like the energetic resonance of all of us being connected to some degree, for lack of a better term. And I mean, if you want to get into it, it'd be like quantum entanglement and going into all that kind of stuff, but we're not really talking about quantum mechanics. We're talking about love and relationships, which is really not too much different if you think about it. However, I feel like that's where that energy is coming from. There is the balancing act, right? We had the Six of Pentacles, we had the Six of Wands. There is a personal victory here for you, and I feel like that is going both ways. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like you took it upon yourself to bring balance into your life, and you decided to focus on yourself, and by focusing on yourself, you have brought this connection in without trying to. It's not like you were out really looking for it, you know what I mean? It looks like you were just enjoying yourself. You were just in the space of like, you know what, like I'm happy, I'm thriving, you know, I'm, you know, making my money, I'm doing my healing, you know, my friendships are great, my whatever, like whatever it is, your hobbies are great, whatever it is that it matters to you is going well. And I feel like that's why the universe has decided to bring this into your life, because now the universe, it's like you show the universe that like you're so focused on your own personal victory and happiness that like you can now have what it is you were seeking for so long. Not because you didn't deserve it before, but because if you didn't take the time to actually focus on yourself and your life, there wouldn't have been space for that in the first place. We always talk about like, yes, let's make space for a relationship. Let's make space, make sure we have that space for another person. But I don't think I've ever mentioned like doing the opposite. Making sure that you're still making that space for your life. Because if a relationship comes in and you're not already like stable and solid with your own foundations, it's going to be really difficult to manage that. It's going to be really difficult to dedicate enough time to your life and continuing to grow and, you know, following your own path, whether that's a spiritual enlightenment or whatever it is that you are, whatever your path is, understanding that like, yes, your person should have space in your life, but also with the other things, you know what I mean? Making sure there's space for everything in your life. And I feel like that's kind of the energy, that's where that balance is coming in. And I feel like that's where the Nine of Swords is coming in, not only because of the fears. And I feel like a lot of those fears are coming from a place of like, okay, I've been in a situation like this before, I fell in love with somebody, things went really well, we got so involved to the point where our own personal lives started lacking. And I feel like that's kind of where Spirit is coming in to say, okay, we're bringing this to you because we see that you are now in a space of balance within yourself and your life, and now you have space in for this person because you know how to balance other things, right? I feel like I'm talking a lot today. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I feel like I do this every reading. But Knight of Pentacles. Again, we got this in the past. This is a slow-moving connection. And I'm kind of being drawn to say that, like, if you look back even at some of the titles of the past readings that I've done, look at where you're at now and look at where you were at then. Look at who you're dealing with now and look at who you were dealing with then. Does it not make sense that the person you're dealing with now is the person that was coming out in those readings before you even knew it was that person? I find that very, very interesting, and I feel like I wanted to mention that because I feel like a lot of the times when we do these readings, we are tapping into energies of, your life, my life, our lives, and our love lives, but there are also people around us that we may not particularly have known were going to be a part of our life in that way. And I feel like that goes for so many different things. I mean, think about where you are compared to like just a few months ago. Think about how your relationships look. Think about people that you've gotten close to that you never really thought much of in the first place for whatever reason. And just kind of do like a little bit of a review. And I feel like this is what this Knight of Pentacles is here for. It's like looking back over everything that you have gone through, understanding that like this connection is going to take time to build because it is a long-term connection. This is something that takes time. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's something that both people have to continue to choose, and it looks like you both have continued to choose each other, and it's a beautiful thing, and I'm very happy for you, and congratulations, because that's really awesome. But like, you know what I mean? I feel like you, not only will you be kind of getting clarity on this here, I feel like you've already gotten that clarity. And clarity has come in. That's like the last thing we talked about in our last reading. The clarity was coming in. There was a lot that was going on. There was a lot that was up in the air, but now the clarity is here, right? Like on the equinox of all days, I feel like is now when that clarity is being opened. I feel like that gateway or doorway is being opened for your conscious and subconscious to be able to tap into different type of energies compared to what we have been in for the entirety of summer, right? We're now moving into fall, which would be like, I don't know, what season would that be in terms of like elements? That would be like the element of air or something, right? I feel like spring would be like water. No, I guess winter would be water, or winter would be air. I don't know. Regardless, you know what I mean? We're moving into a new element here. We're in a new space, which is why I wanted to tap in today and do this reading, actually, because, well, I feel like I'm in a new space. Ever since this equinox has hit, I feel like I've stepped into a new state of mind, state of heart, and balanced those two. But regardless, I think you're going to be seeing some movement forward. While it may be slow, it is still one of the faster moving one of the faster moving court cards in the Pentacles suit, because you would have the Page, the Knight, the King, and the Queen, and I feel like the Knight here would be the faster moving of them. They may be a little bit reckless. There's a little bit of a reckless energy, but it's not impulsive, right? We were seeing a lot of impulsive energy before with the last reading. There was like this impulsiveness moving forward, doing this, doing that, making decisions, making irrational decisions, honestly. And now I feel like because of that, you're now seeing how that has played out. And I feel like you're seeing how that was a product of your past fears coming out, being triggered by this connection. All right, but I feel like there is a building going on. There's the building here. It's not the full 10 of Pentacles. It is the 7 of Pentacles. So it's still starting new. It's still fresh. But I feel like the committal aspect is there. The loyalty is starting to come to fruition, right? There may have been some conflict surrounding this. There may have been some fear surrounding player energy. There was a lot of hot and cold energy that we were tapping into for a while. And I feel like you and your person are coming out of that. Not only because we're in a new season, but because you both have triggered each other to grow in ways that, not that you couldn't do them on your own, but being triggered by another person naturally allows you to grow at a quicker pace, which is why I do these readings, because a lot of us are in situations where we grow quickly and learn lessons at a faster pace than people who aren't in these divine connections. And that's not to say we are any better or any worse or higher or lower. There's no hierarchy here. It's just recognizing that we as a collective, in this collective that I read for, we move differently than people who are not in this space, as It would go for anybody else that is not in our space. They move differently in their own directions. But I feel like this is kind of what we're now seeing. You're now moving in a new direction in this relationship because you've decided to. That's the main message. You chose to move in a new direction. You chose to do things differently. Your person chose to show up differently, and that is now being reflected in this connection. And again, that's why we had that that 6 of Wands. Like, this is a major win for you, dude. Like, this is really great, because I feel like I've been doing these readings for a few months now, and it's been really arduous. We've been going through these cycles, seemingly unending. It just seems like it was never coming to an end, and now we're on the other side, and we're really moving in a beautiful, grounded, abundant way. I mean, it's not that we were never abundant or grounded before, but I feel like it is now grounding into the reality. All of that stuff we were talking about for months, we're now seeing it manifest together, and congratulations. Back to the world. So that was all for that, basically. That was almost the whole reading, honestly, but I only have one deck, so we're going to go ahead and just pull some more cards. Let's go and just pull some more cards. Spirit, any other messages you have for us from the collective? I'm very grateful for anything you show us. My guides, my angels, and my ancestors, I do appreciate you, and anything you want to show the collective to continue the messages for this connection that we are picking up on. And here we go. We got the Lovers. I mean, and we got the Page of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So, I mean, this is his confirmation. You know, I feel like Spirit is just, you know, as I'm acknowledging Spirit, my guides, my angels, and my ancestors, I feel like they're doing the same for me and for us. Acknowledging that, yes, this is something that is coming together. This is a divine connection. I mean, this is the card of Gemini. I don't normally tap into signs, but if that means something to you, then cool. But to me, this is just like, okay, we're seeing these external unions because we already did the internal work. We're watching this come together because, you know, we made the decision here with the Page of Wands, Cups, to move in a new direction. You know, it's like you're in this space where you may not always have the experience. I feel like that's where a lot of the anxiety may be coming from. And I don't even feel like, you know, that 7 of Swords and the Devil, it feels more like an anxious energy. It's not even like fears. Like, yeah, like there are fears, but like I feel like you know yourself well enough to work through those fears and to see them for what they are. And I feel like a lot of the anxiety is just because you don't have experience here. We've talked about this before too, where like moving into these new spaces and relationships, especially if you don't have experience in healthy relationships, it's going to be scary because you don't necessarily know what's going to happen because you've not experienced it yet. I think that's the real main message today, is like, you're not always supposed to know what's going to happen next because you haven't been here before. And it's not to say that you may not have had past life experiences or you don't have genetic memories from ancestors, but I feel like that's really the case. You're writing a new book, like we have talked about before. You're rewriting the blueprints of what it means to be in union with yourself and another person. For your own personal bloodline. Sorry, mic time. Let's go. For your own personal bloodline and ancestors, you are moving in a new direction. You have healed a lot of the things that people from your past family have decided to shy away from. And they have every right to, because it's a terrifying thing to work through the things that we work through together. It's not always easy, but I would say that it's rewarding, because look at where it's got you. It's got you into this space with the Lovers and the Page of Cups. I keep saying Pentacles or Wands, but it's gotten you into this new space. You know, before we did get a lot of, I think we did get the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands, if I'm correct. It might have been the Knight of Swords and Knight of Wands. And now we're starting to tap into the Pentacle energy. We got the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Page of Cups. I can't say this card for some reason today. It's a new space. It's a new relationship. I don't even feel like it's new. I feel like this is somebody that you've known for a long time. Maybe not too long. Maybe you've known them. And maybe you both never really moved in that way. And now all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what's going on? Bottom of the deck again, we do have the Wheel of Fortune, and under that, I'm literally just pulling from the bottom, by the way, the cards that are sitting up. We have the Two of Cups, and we have the Page of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. Okay, this is a very serious relationship. This isn't something that's, I feel like your person is taking this very seriously. Even if they're not showing you that, they're taking it very seriously, okay? And I feel like you are too, and I feel like I think you're now both seeing how seriously you take each other, because I feel like you have a lot of respect for each other. right? You acknowledge the connection. You understand that, like, the way you move impacts this person. We talked about that in the last reading. Sometimes you can do or say things that may be misconstrued. But I feel like so long as you keep your intentions pure, like, things are going to turn in your favor, right? If you're not out here trying to hurt anybody, you're not out here trying to do anybody any wrong, you're focusing on yourself, on your self-love, and when love comes in, you embrace it and you love the person with your whole heart. That's amazing. And I feel like that is what is being recognized. I feel like both people are now in that space of wanting to do this. And it's a little scary. I'm going to be completely honest. This energy that I'm tapping into, there's a lot of anxiety surrounding it. It's not bad. Definitely not bad. I mean, that's subjective, right? But it's new. And I feel like the reason why I'm having trouble speaking on it is because I don't always have the full plethora of experience to speak on some of the things that come up either, which is why I only do particular types of readings. But it's like I'm doing my best to talk about these energies, but it is something that is really transcending my ability to speak on it. Not because I don't understand it, but because it's just a lot, and it is new, it's ethereal, it's spiritual. It's kind of like a combination of all these elements. If you want to look into the Wheel of Fortune here, I mean, the Wheel of Fortune contains everything. I mean, it's not every single sign on there, but it contains everything within the wheel. Same with the world. It contains all of the elements. It is everything all in one, and the wheel is always constantly turning, and I feel like the wheel is now turning in your favor for this relationship that's leading to that long-term commitment, because it is a divine connection. Okay. However, I am going to speak on this last card I'm seeing here. We do have the Five of Swords, okay, and we do have Judgments, and we do have the Moon. And I'm going to pull out Death as well, because I see Death here, okay? We're going to talk about this one last little bit before I end the reading. Everything is really, really great. All the energies are amazing, but the only reason you're there with this person is because you let go and work through this conflict. There were some major things I feel like you worked through with this person, even if you didn't speak about everything. You both made the decision to forgive and move forward. And that is why you're seeing these. That's why you both made that call. You made the decision that you choose this person regardless of what it is you're going through with them. You choose them over and over, and they choose you. And that is why you are going through this transformation here. Okay? That is what's kind of being hidden right now. I think you're not seeing just how serious this person takes you because they are afraid that you will not take them the same way. I think they are afraid that you may not see them the way they see you, but it doesn't feel like that's the case. I feel like this is a very mutual energy, and you're both feeling this right now. There's some really deep emotions going on right here, with well, this is the card of Cancer, but with the Moon card, it's like there are some really deep emotions, very, very deep emotions here in this connection, because you have undergone so much with this person. I feel like this connection has really stood the test of time. I feel like you both have hurt each other in different ways, right? You both have judged each other, misjudged each other, I would say. You have made some decisions that were maybe not in the best interest of this connection, and now you've transformed that. Whatever it was that was going on between you two has been transformed, and I feel like that is why you're now getting what it is you've been seeking with this person. But keeping in mind that it's going to take time. It is still something that will take time. It is a process. Like we've always talked about, these long-term relationships are long-term for a reason. When I did the daily today, the Ten of Pentacles came out with the Ten of Wands. Like, we got that and maybe one other card. And this is basically the entirety of the message. Like, those two cards can sum up this reading. The Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands came out when I did the daily. I'll try to post it on Instagram, but they won't let me post reels for some reason. Instagram's been weird all day. They almost didn't even let me post on my regular just meme page. Like, it wasn't even loading the images. It was weird. Kept crashing and everything. But I feel like the main message of those cards is coming out for this entire reading, that it's like you're moving through so much, letting go of so many past problems within yourselves, within your past, and within this connection, because it is all connected, right? I feel like that's going to be probably where I leave this reading, man. I don't know what else I can really tap into other than the fact that, like, you're in this space with this person where this relationship has undergone a major transformation, and you're going to start seeing that, if not already have been seeing that. If you haven't already been seeing that, you're going to start seeing how this transformation is taking place. I feel like this person is really surprised you. You did not expect for them to show up the way they showed up for you, and they did. And now you're scared because you're not used to somebody showing up for you the way you show up for people, right? So embrace it, enjoy it, and don't be afraid to be afraid. And if you're truly afraid of something about this connection and you have that type of communication going on, speak openly and honestly about how you're feeling, and I'm more than confident they will understand, and they will work with you, and they will compromise with you when they need to, and vice versa. And when one person is down, the other will build them up. And it's just, I feel like that's the relationship here, is very equal give and take. You know what I mean? This, to me, it's like death and life. Like, this is the card of life to me when I see the moon. This is the card of death, transformation, new life, new cycles being born. You can think about the moon cycles, things being reborn, things being torn down so that the new can come in, so that you can actually build the connection you've been wanting to build for so long, for everything we've been talking about for all these months, and everything you've been working through for all these years. Congratulations. I'm going to leave it there. I don't know. I mean, I can continue to tap in, but we only got a few minutes left, right? I'll pull one. Okay, I'll pull one more card. Spirit, do you have one final message here for us before the reading runs out? I think it ends at 3311 or something like that, which I think is kind of funny because that's kind of a cool number. One final card here, Spirit, to close out this reading for the collective. Anything you want to tell us? Very grateful, my guides, my angels, my ancestors. Anything that you have for us here today? Yeah. Four of Swords. I feel like you're going to be coming out of this here. Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Seven of Wands. And Temperance. Okay. This restful period and separation that you went through, it was serving a deeper spiritual purpose here. But I feel like you're overcoming that. Like I said, the transformations have taken place. You both have taken the time to really think about this. Now seeing the beautiful connection you do have here, the door, I mean, this is the card of marriage to some degree, union card, all that kind of stuff. Working through that, everything that was going against you and this person, you're working through that to bring better balance into this connection. This is my twin flame card in the major arcana. So we got the Four of Wands and we have the Temperance. I mean, congratulations, guys. I'm really proud of you. I'm really happy for you, and I wish you the best on your journey. And just be patient with yourself, be patient with your person, and don't be afraid to take some space to yourself when you need to, but don't be afraid to show up for this person too. You know what I mean? I feel like this person needs you to show up when it's important, and I think that goes both ways. Don't be afraid to have those difficult conversations, because that's what leads to this deeper commitment, this deeper growth, this deeper love. It takes work, and it's not something that's for the faint of heart, but it's well worth it, and I'm so grateful to be able to read these energies for you, because it's beautiful, and I wish you the best. And I will see you in your next reading, because I am almost out of time. If you want to book a reading or see any of my services, it's in the description, but I will see you in your next reading. I love you so much. You have a great day.